Today on Beyond the Cake, I'm so excited to welcome someone who makes pure magic happen at the table, Raquel Rua from the Mad Kitchen. The Mad Kitchen was built on the idea that food isn't just served, it's experienced. Every dish is designed to surprise, delight, and create memories long after the last bite. And at the heart of so many unforgettable celebrations are Raquel and her incredible team, who I like to call food magicians. They bring a whirlwind of creativity, energy, and care to every event and wedding, making sure that each menu is not only delicious, but completely unique to the couple. Raquel, it's such a joy to have you here. Welcome to Beyond the Cake.
Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. Like I was saying before we started, you guys are my absolute favorite team to work with. I just am always blown away by your creativity and your ability to blow people away every single time. So I'm really happy. So I want to know, starting straight off, how did the Mad Kitchen come to exist, and what first drew you into the world of food?
So, Mad Kitchen started in 2020, in January 2020, and then we had COVID. So the idea came in advance. I used to work at Sud. There was where I met Chef Angel. And we had a group for Coca-Cola Company that they asked us to do a catering outside at Convento do Beato because they were completely amazed with all the food that Chef Angel could provide. And so with this, it was like, okay, why not? Why not to have a catering company? Not another catering company in Portugal, but the catering company that would fulfill all the details. Imagine it's like bringing for events a little bit of the Michelin star, making sure that you can bring, and it's not to make sure that people don't see events anymore like something boring where they are going to eat badly with a bad service. So we wanted to transform a magical, like the experience that we have in our home that reminds your mother's cookings or your grandmother's cooking, to bring that to events.
Um, I don't know. My mom and my grandmother are really great cooks, but I don't remember having any of that magic stuff going on when I was growing up. So I think you're above and beyond that magical mom and grandma level.
No, definitely. I'm talking. It's like the combination of
Yeah.
bringing the flavors that people. It's like an experience that you will fly away, like when you were a child in terms of
Okay.
flavors. But then you have a stunning presentation, and it's like I think the what we hear the most from our clients is like, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful. How can I eat this?"
Yeah.
And this is like, no, you need to eat it because this is the full experience, and everything is edible. Everything that we put on the dish, it's edible. And you need to touch a little bit of everything for you to have the full experience, the flavors that will pop up in your mouth.
Okay. So you're actually answering part of my next question, which is all about the concept of food magicians. How do you create these food experiences that feel so magical for your clients?
So on that part, I just need to say that everything is Chef Angel.
Hmm.
So he's the magician here. I just make it happen. I just make it work. So he has all these ideas, and I'm the person that is like, wait a minute, that's how you are going to do this. And he's like, no, I can do it. No, okay, but explain to me. And I go the steps to make sure that all the craziness that exists in his head will be viable. And that's the truth. Sometimes it looks like we are having an event in the future for 1300,
Oh my God.
and it's like, how can he provide something like that? I cannot
Wow.
tell you what's going to happen, but I will promise you that then I will share some pictures with you, because
Okay.
the craziness, I think this is going to be the top of
Yeah.
craziness.
Do they need a cake?
No, they do, but they are going to provide. They are only making it as a small one.
Okay.
Let's say.
Bummer. Um, so I think it's interesting to talk about, like, I feel like there are a lot of similarities between your your business and my business in terms of what we're striving to produce. And a lot of what I always take into consideration is like Portugal and the inspiration and the tradition and the heritage. So I guess I want to know from you, like, how do you guys as a team balance honoring the heritage of Portugal while still surprising people with something unexpected and completely new?
So I think because all the basis, we have an international kitchen, but all the basis is Portuguese food, and the Portuguese food it's flavorous. So
Hmm.
it has a lot of flavor, and Chef Angel can always keep that flavor that gives the difference. But for example, I always say this: I love Portuguese food, but in terms of presentation, it's a disaster. There's no doesn't exist any typical Portuguese dish that it's beautiful on the presentation. And so
Hmm.
what he does is to transform. And for that, we need, of course, investment, the right team working with us. And so, for
Hmm.
example, I think I can say that we are 72
Oh my gosh.
employees. So I think that there's no catering company in Portugal or even outside that has this number of employees. And this is the only way that we can assure perfection in every service that we do
Hmm.
and
I mean, I
keeping.
feel so lucky to have seen it firsthand so many times, just mesmerized in your kitchen on site, like watching everybody with such precision and everything seems to work so smoothly. And there's so many people, and you're like, wow, I can't imagine the
And
logistics
another
behind
thing,
that. That's
and
incredible.
another thing, for example, that we love to show the backstage. We love to people to come and see everything that we are doing, how we can create this magic, how it's
Hmm.
going to happen.
It's amazing. Um, if you think about all the events that you've done, is there one specific celebration that comes to mind, like still makes you go like, oh my gosh, that was just amazing?
Yes, we have an event that we do every year that is at Comporta for
Hmm.
Vanguard, and it's very cool to do that event because every year we create different. We need to create a new menu, a new experience. How will how will we be able to blow away people again? And the truth is, every day you can blow them again, and so it's amazing. But I think I can say it's that event that still gives me goosebumps because you never know how it's gonna be, like the exception. And for example, I remember one event that we did when we had the opening of Beato.
Hmm.
That was the first time that I was really afraid of that event because it could be or amazing, and thankfully it was amazing, but could also be like ridiculous. Everything was set up a la minute.
Okay.
So the idea was for the guests started to get inside and nothing was ready. And like we were just running, like showing real the backstage when you are putting an event together. And it was like, oh, we didn't knew that you would arrive at 6. We thought that you would arrive at 8. And so this could be something that could be amazing or ridiculous. I think it was amazing. And I think it's the event that marks me the most in my head.
That must have been like so stressful and yet so much fun at the same time.
Exactly. Exactly.
In terms of your presentation, I know like there's so many subtle details that I probably don't even, and I'm really detail oriented, but I probably don't even know half of them. But like, what are some of your favorite details? What are the details that you think make the experience unforgettable and really one of a kind? Can you think of anything specifically?
For example, I think that the small detail, like when we have a canapé, and even for example, a croquette,
Hmm.
that it's something very typical Portuguese, or the codfish cake, it's very typical Portuguese. We just adapt it. Imagine, for example, for the codfish, we do a spur, and
Hmm.
we just put a little bit of sauce on top with the flour. And this small detail makes all the difference. Even in terms of service, like Portuguese love savory things and everything that it's fried.
Yeah.
And normal is like you just have a big tray with a lot of food there. No, see the details. People will just stop and create um, experience. And I think this also brings for, once again, the events, a familiarity with everyone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't know the person that is next to you, when you see like our cages or where you see the different trays that we have, you start talking like, oh, have you seen that? And so this breaks a little bit the pressure to go to an event, I would say.
Mm. Yeah, I want to mention actually because I've not only been on, next to you as a vendor partner, but I've also been a client. And I think that there are those moments, especially with the bird cages and um, the way that you present, it's not only just, it's like all of the senses. You hear the birds, you see birds, but then you're eating something that looks like, I don't know, out of a museum, like a little jewelry piece. And it's just amazing. And those, there's what's it called? The dry ice and
Yeah.
the visual effects that you guys think of that are so interesting and so unusual. Like the way that you apply certain things is really cool. And like, there's lights and there's smoke and I don't know if there's fire, but like there's all sorts of things, and
And
it's super.
that's the thing. Sometimes we need like, I know it's hard for the clients to trust until the end with Chef Angel, but he creates magic. And many times everything is inside his head and he
Yeah.
will execute and he can change. But the good points for me is like, and for all clients, we can just trust him because everything that will come out will be amazing.
Yeah.
And all the creations, the cage, for example, Martins Alves, that was for me a very important person um, in Portugal, in events, history, in everything. They created a lot of things together. It was almost like they spoke the same language. Like, and the cage was designed between Chef Angel and Martins Alves, and
Oh, I didn't
it's
know that.
such a big proud there, like, and I think everybody at the beginning thought, oh yeah, okay, Mad Kitchen, oh, they can do this, but this is only for 20. It doesn't matter the number of guests
Yeah.
that we have. We can assure our service if they are 100, 200, 500, 700, doesn't matter. You just need, once again, to have the right persons to do it, the right equipment, and the right level of insanity also.
Yeah, clients that understand they have to put their trust in the artist to make it that extra special wow, which I think, he's definitely an artist. My goodness. Okay, so let's talk about like when you meet a client and they're trying to kind of design their menu, is there any specific advice that you give them? 'Cause sometimes it's really stressful and sometimes it's really difficult to like plan such a big, I mean, a menu is a big part of the celebration. And so is there anything like special advice that you give them to kind of help keep them positive and, on the right track with happy feelings and not just like stressed out and arguing at
I
each other?
don't know if this is the best advice, but normally the advice that I give, it's your day. Choose the food you love. Because it's going to be impossible to everybody to be pleased. Or because one doesn't like salmon, or the other doesn't eat meat, or the other eats vegan, or it doesn't matter. Choose the food you love. It's your day. And mainly on the day, make sure you enjoy your day
Yeah.
because you will have plenty time to see all the pictures and videos and everything, and it's very important to keep the experience. Of course you cannot, for example, I already had weddings like that. Bride and groom, they are vegans, so they want a full vegan menu. In my idea, this doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
except if many of their friends are vegan, but this is something that doesn't happen. So of course you need to think about your guests, but not that much that you say, oh no, because I know a person is allergic to shrimp. Like, we are here to solve issues. So imagine if you have a dietary requirements like 5 or 6, we'll provide a different thing to that person. Like just think in yourself, it's your day, in the taste of both of you.
Yeah. I give that same advice to my clients too, because a lot of times it's like they want to please everybody. And a lot of times it's family. I want to please my mom or dad or whatever. And it's the same thing. It's like you want everybody to have an amazing experience, but at the end of the day is about you and you should have what you want. And, and of course, like you guys, like me, if there's anybody that can't eat something for some reason, of course you make something else. But like, yeah, it's always, people
Exactly.
forget a lot. Like, I think it's important that they're focused on the experience that they're giving their guests, but it's also, at the core of it all, it's all about them.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
has there ever been a moment in your uh, career path where you've woken up one day and been like, this is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing?
Honestly, every single day.
Okay.
I love what I do. Sometimes I'm so tired, I just say, no, I cannot handle this anymore. Like, I need to stop. And it's like, it's impossible for me to stop. I love my job. I love selling food. I love selling the experience. I love to understand every single detail. I'm always like looking in the kitchen. I'm the one that screams, no, you should put like this or should put like that. Or I'm that person because I think I really live every day for my job. Of
Yeah.
course, even at I have kids and I have my family and everything, but I would never leave this area. Never,
I
never.
think, I mean, I feel that definitely with you, with all of you guys in your amazing company, you feel that passion. And I also think in the food industry, especially, you can't really excel. I don't want to say succeed, but like excel at what you do and be like top of the game if you're not super passionate about it, because it's the food industry is like a labor of love, and it's you basically live it 24 hours a day, right? Even if you're off, you're still on. And so I get that.
Definitely.
Um,
And I
okay.
also love food, so
Yeah, me
I
too.
love to eat. I love the experience. I love to be just eating and drinking. That's my hobby. That's what I
We
always
need
say.
to get
That's my
together
hobby.
more then.
Yeah.
Okay, what if you could pick one dish on your expansive menu of like the biggest wow factor? What would it be?
Our beef Wellington.
Hmm. Okay, explain.
So there's everybody thinks that it's impossible to do a good beef Wellington, and for big groups, we are amazing doing a beef Wellington. And I remember one event that when client he was the brother of the bride, if I'm not mistaken, and he said it's impossible because now you gave me a very good Wellington, and I'm sure it's going to be very good on the day, but will never be better than mine on the day of the event. And I said we'll be there and we will see. And at the end, and they were, I don't know, maybe 320, 330. At the end of the event, he went to me and he said, now I understand why you are like that. Like you are completely full of confidence because you already know what you are serving. And I said, yes. Isn't it always an amazing? Isn't it exactly like the day of the tasting? And he was like, I think it's even better than on the day of
Wow.
the tasting. And so this is one of the, it's a dish that it's hard to do, but never fails. And I think because when people see or talk about the Gordon Ramsay and all the chefs outside that go to the television, it's like, oh, beef Wellington is like impossible to do. So I think it's something that really marked people. It's a dish
Hmm.
that really marked that everybody thinks, oh no, it's not going to be good. And ours is amazing.
Of course. Of course. Anything you guys touch is amazing. What along those lines, what is the most creative or unusual request you've ever had?
Hmm. So unusual. I had a client once that asked me if he could have a beef with fries, and I was like, sorry, I'm not hearing
Like
you.
a like a plane?
Yeah, like bitok.
Ah,
typical Portuguese. And I said, so you have so many catering companies that can do that. We would never be able to do like a simple steak like that. In terms of creatives menus, for example, when we need to create everything looking like ice, and even
mm,
if when we are talking about a hot dish, this is
wow.
challenging. Yeah,
You've had somebody
challenging.
ask you for that?
Yes, we had an event that everything needed to look like ice, even when it was a hot. And so we create, for example, the caldo verde. Instead of being the green cabbage soup, it was blue. So we had a white part like the parmentier, and we did a foam on top with blue to represent
Wow.
the ice, and it was like amazing.
So cool.
And so it's very nice. And for example, Chef Angel loves a challenge, like bring it on, or to create that we already did many times to create something that it looks that it's sweet but it's salty. For
Mm.
example, an apple that was foie gras, or we did an olive tree that had the olives, but when you started to eat, it was codfish abraço.
Oh, wow. Oh
Like
my
you would
gosh.
never like say that, like you thought it was just an olive and you eat it and what? And so it's this type of creations that make us work harder to have more ideas, because it's very easy like to have the ideas, but then you need to make
Yeah.
sure that it works. And so this is the amazing part. And so, but I yes, I would say that was the most hard one to create the everything looking cold, and it was hot.
You guys are just incredible. Seriously. I mean, I take my hat off because I can't even imagine what goes into all of these things.
Oh, a lot of yellings and a lot of everything. Yes.
um, so I know that you've done a lot of events, and I'm guessing that you've done a lot of events for some very important people, some well-known people, some celebrities, some whatever. Can you tell me, is there somebody still on your bucket list? Like, if you could design a menu and serve a menu to, I don't know, who would it be?
Oprah.
Hmm,
I would love to do an event to Oprah.
that'd be
I think,
amazing.
yeah, it's a person that first I respect a lot, and I think that everything that she does, being like a celebrity, and everything that he can make things work, it would be like amazing, a pleasure to work, to do an event for her, definitely.
Hmm. I wonder if she must have, but she's already been in Portugal, I think, but I don't, we need to organize something for her to get herself over here.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Um, I have one more question. I didn't prepare this one, but I just wanted to know, like, do you guys travel for events, or does it have to be somewhere where you can actually, like, like in Portugal, drive to or whatever?
Hmm. So we are starting to go. So imagine. So of course, all Portugal, it's possible. We are expanding to Spain
Okay.
at this moment, to Marbella. We had a challenge to go to Azores, and so I think yes, it's possible. It's definitely possible, but in terms of costs,
Right.
that would increase a lot the costs, because even, for
Yeah.
example, even to go to, sorry,
That's
even
okay.
to go to Marbella, even to go to, I'm sorry,
That's
even
okay.
to go to Marbella, everything needs to be produced here in our main kitchen, because in terms of investment, we are talking
Right.
about a very very big investment that we have inside this kitchen. So it's not something that you can just reply in every place that you go. So all production would be still be made here, and then we would go, because like this kitchen, this is the Rolls Royce of any catering company or any hotel.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So wait, can I interrupt you 1 second? I normally I ask rapid fire questions at the end, but I'm going to forget that. I want you to tell us about your new kitchen because I have not had the pleasure of seeing it yet. Jacques has, and I'm like
yes.
dying to come and see it. But I would love for you just to take like a minute or two and talk about the kitchen because I think that's so important for people to know about.
So first of all, everything is in glass, and the idea is when the clients get inside, for example, to have the tasting, they can see an open kitchen. You can
Mm.
see everything, making sure that people are working, that it's everything is very clean. And so here we have all. This kitchen can produce until 12,000 meals per day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I'm always playing. When the kitchen was ready and all the cooks came to see, they looked like kids on a toy store,
Yeah.
because they were like crazy. Here you have everything that's necessary for you to create. So
Wow.
yeah, everything is split. So we have the hot area, garde manger, and the pastry. So it's no longer an issue. Like you don't need to mark anymore. I need the oven from this time to this time. So here you have
Mm.
everything, and this is what allow us to go longer or accepting more events per day, because we could accept 2 events per day, then we increased to 3 events per day. At this moment, we can do 4 events per day.
Wow. And that's amazing because you don't lose anything in terms of quality, which
No,
is just unbelievable.
that's the main point. I will never risk it to do something. Me, the company, we would never risk it to do something that could not be amazing, or that the quality of food or presentation. Never. This is the most important point.
Yeah. Well, this is why I love working with you guys so much.
Thank you.
Just feel like you're part of my family in terms of how you guys think and how you create and how you produce. And um, I hope that I can share a little bit of your magic with people out there because I think you're one of a kind. And I remember when you first started, and I think we did our first event together, and I was just blown away. And then having worked with you over the years, and then you know, having you guys do the catering for our event and seeing it from a different perspective, and just being absolutely amazed. And as a creative person, to wonder like, how did you do that? It's pretty hard to like when you're also a creative person and you see something like to that level and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't understand how you guys do that. And I think that's so cool. And I hope you continue to be
Because I
so
think I think imagine, so the level of craziness that we have, it's very similar to yours, because nobody will be like 5, 10 hours just doing flowers to put on the cake.
yeah.
So, and this is what makes this is, in my opinion, this is what makes you the best cake designer that exists,
Thanks.
because your cake. Let's just talk about your cake at your
That's a whole
event.
nother interview.
No, I know, but it was the first time, and I told you that on the day. It was the first time in my life that I did FaceTime with my kids, like in an event. I never shared those things, but I was so amazed with the cake that I just told them, shh, you cannot speak, just to
Oh,
show them the cake. And I think this is the level of craziness that doesn't matter the work it gives.
right.
What matters is the satisfaction at the end.
Absolutely.
And so I think
Absolutely.
this is what marks really Mad Kitchen.
Well, I'm waiting for that invitation to come see the kitchen.
Oh, yes.
I have to say, I'd like to come see it before I go to Florida. Uh,
Let's come on, just tell me when.
okay, I'll
I would
bring the
love to
cake.
get you here.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate, I know this is still kind of like the busy season here, so I appreciate so much your time. Um, I'm I feel like so selfish and just saying that on a personal level, I'm so excited to have had like a half an hour with you and just to kind of pick your brain a little. For my viewers, you can't get better than this. You can't get better than the Mad Kitchen. They're amazing. If you're coming to Portugal for a wedding or for any event, I would highly suggest getting in touch with them. Your website is themadkitchen.pt,
Yes.
right? Okay. Or anybody can always ask me and I will throw them straight your way. But thank you. It's been amazing just to talk to you with a little bit. I'm even more kind of infatuated with what you guys do at this point. So I appreciate your being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation. It was amazing to be here with you.
Thank you, Raquel.
Thank
All
you.
right. See you guys soon.
See you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.